Hallo und willkommen zurück zu Eschalon Buch 3. Wir schauen uns jetzt hier in Alandars Domain um. Was sind denn das hier für Gestalten? This person just ignores you. Die sind alle nicht so gesprächig. Ein Fisch. Ich gehe erstmal da zu diesem Dings da vorne. Ich nehme an, dass ich hier trinken kann. Da geht's auch noch weiter. Alundar, naja, der steht aber ja auch ziemlich im Freien, naja. A lean, intimidating man dressed in expensive silk clothing watches you carefully as you approach him. Stop right there, that is close enough. He speaks with an accent that originates from the deserts of Baria. I am Alundar, sovereign supreme of the astral range. As you do not appear to be a spice trader, I assume you have come to seek passage through my lands, correct? I would like to inquire about passage. You would like to inquire about passage? That is an odd way of stating your reason for trespassing on my land. You are either a traveler who has come prepared to pay the necessary toll, or you are an unwelcome vagrant. The toll of passing through my territory is 2,000 gold, and the toll for vacancy is death. That seems like a lot of gold just to pass over the mountains. Alundar's face reddens with ire. He crosses his arms and clenches his teeth, tensing the muscles in his jaw. He looks you up and down and finally speaks. I understand. You are a refugee from the Wilderland. I hear that the goblins have started the invasion which has made life unpleasant for many. This will not be a problem. Give a special price for refugees. 4,000 gold. This is the toll for cowardly mongrels who flee their homes. Alundar places his hand on the hilt of a large sword around his waist and glares at you with disdain. Genau. Perhaps we've gotten off to a bad start. Alundar glares at you, waiting on you to say something. Okay. I have to come to trade, actually. Alundar crosses his arms and throws you a look of both suspicion and contempt. Look at me, he says with a booming voice. I'm surrounded by gold and silk. The air in my home is filled with exotic spices from the far reaches of Eschalon, and I have an army of your loyalists at my call. And you are dressed as a second-rate grave robber and smell as if you need of a bath. What could you possibly have to trade that would elicit even the smallest bit of curiosity from me? I have brought you the heads of your enemy. Pull out the Akadai withered head. Alundar appears puzzled as he examines the withered head. What is this? It is the head of the Akadai Kingspawn. I claimed it myself and brought it all the way here just for you. Alundar remains unconvinced. It is clearly the head of a Kingspawn, but it is not fresh. It is withered and is perhaps decades old. Are you trying to make a fool of me? I assure you, it was freshly severed only days ago. The cold and arid climate of these majestic mountains has dried it. Alundar continues to examine it and finally seems convinced that you are speaking the truth. Very well then. It is a celebration. You have brought me the head of my enemy and I am very pleased. Alundar appears genuinely happy, a mood that is probably rare for him. I know exactly where I will mount this. Everyone will know there is not a king or peasant in all of Eschalon who can insult the great Alundar and live. You said you have brought this to me as a trade. What is it that you want in return? Actually, I was hoping to speak with one of your prisoners. It will only be a short visit. Alundar looks suspicious. One of my prisoners? Who? Karamiklan. Alunda is taken back. You wish to speak with Karma Clan. This is not a request I would grant even my most trusted lieutenant. What is it you wish to speak with him about? My business is my own, but I only seek the wisdom that he is said to possess. I have not earned your trust by bringing you the head of your enemy. Alunda pauses, looking at the withered head lying at his feet. I suppose so, stranger. Alright. I shall grant you 5 minutes with Karamiklan. Eben hat er aber anders geheißen. But not a second longer. If you attempt anything foolish, I will set my entire army upon you to cut you into scraps for my dogs. Thank you, great Alunda! Alunda walks into his living quarters and pulls a lever, opening the nearby steel doors to his dungeon. He doesn't say a word to you when he returns. He simply nods and motions to the open doors. Aha. Alunda says, open this dungeon for you. It is time to fulfill Erebor's request to seek our Army clan and ask him for guidance on how to end this war of the Crux Stones. Level up. Dann mache ich jetzt hier noch die Divine-Dings. Divination. Und Dexterity. Yes. Speichern. I'm here to end your tyranny and free your prisoners. Nein. Alunda crosses his arms and throws you a look at both suspicion and contempt. Look at me, he says with a booming voice. I'm surrounded by... Bla bla bla, okay. Jetzt gibt's nichts mehr. Okay, bevor ich da jetzt hingehe... Das ist hinten, wenn ich hingehe. Lalalala. Mache ich jetzt einfach mal spaßeshalber. Na komm schon. So. So wäre es also auch gegangen. Dann machen wir mal die Kiste auf. %. Na. Werde ich halt jetzt mal alle Dietriche verbrauchen. Sieht bisher nicht sehr erfolgreich aus. Das waren sie alle. Na gut. Ich habe auch leider jetzt kein Fass mit, um das hier mal spontan in die Luft zu jagen. Dann lade ich mal wieder. Bevor ich da aber reingehe, werde ich mich jetzt erst noch in der Zone umgucken. Da liegt ein Skelett rum, ist aber nix. Okay. Da ist auch nix. Wird eventuell dann gleich aufgemacht, wenn ich da fertig bin. Aber eine schöne Musik. A guard stands nearly motionless next to a huge iron gate. When you get near him, he barks out a command. Speak your business! How are you this day? The guard says nothing back. I would like to pass through into Fandugan. Then show me your pass and quit wasting my time. Don't have a pass. The guard is very annoyed by your response and snaps back. Then go speak to Alunda. Was ist, wenn ich einfach diesen Hebel drücke? Och. Ja, das ist doch mal gerade abschnappen. Werde ich erstmal in das Dungeon rein. Oder gibt der mir jetzt einen Pass? Ja. Dann gehe ich halt hier rein. The interior of Alundar's dungeon is dry and not is cold. As cold, da ist ein Tippfehler. As you imagined it might be, there's a pungent scent in the air, scent, somewhat like sulfur. The main hall from the entrance is clean and well maintained. From the looks of it, this dungeon doesn't contain any prisoners. These cells are empty and clean, and they do not like they've ever held a single person. The Great Book of Valka tells us that the way through the second gate of immortality is the removal from all fear, from the totality of Valor. Vielleicht sollte ich ja mal wieder eine Fackel anzünden. A painting of a barren warlord hung from a cross. The captain reads, "The Pale King is crucified after being captured and having survived 658 arrow wounds in the Battle of North Rock." A painting of a 10-headed serpent. The caption reads, "Mata slays the serpent of the acrid waste." Okay. Aber hier ist kein Hebel drin. Wieso geht der Touch gerade so schnell weg? Okay, hier habe ich jetzt ein paar Hebel gedrückt. Hier kommt keine Meldung. The Great Book of Valka tells us that the way through the first gate of immortality is the sum of man's valor. A painting from Baron Princes fighting in of a Baron Prince fighting in the caption reads, "Prince Runda stands alone against Therod's famed 1001st Infantry." A painting of Baron Warlord surrounded by sheep. The caption reads, "Varus gives 1,800 sheep to an enemy clan to ensure they survived the harsh winter, so they could be probably defeated by his forces in the spring." Ist ja nett. A painting of a Baron Warlord lifting an enormous rock over his head. The caption reads, "A tyrannus lifts a 750-pound rock of a child's leg." Oh Gott, das sind wahrscheinlich wieder irgendwelche Matheaufgaben oder Rätseldinger, die ich hier dann gleich durchführen muss. Sum of a Man's Valor. Also das ist quasi... ...1100... 1001 plus 1800 plus 750. Weil das sind 2000. Einfach hier Excel. Zack. 3571. Klasse. Und was hat diese Dings? Tells us the way through the first gate. Sum of Valor. Dann gucke ich bei dem anderen nochmal gerade vorbei. The removal of all fear from the totality of Valor. Ah, okay. Das sind 10. Das hier sind 658. Und das hier sind 100. In Summe 768. Okay. Speichern. Dann müssen wir jetzt bei dem ersten 3, 5, 7, 1. Nein. Okay. The sum of a man's valor. Thousand and one infantry. $1800. Sheep to an enemy clan to ensure they survive the harsh winter, thus they could probably defeated by his force in the spring. 800. Und das hier waren 705. Ah, ich habe 770 aufgeschrieben. Dann kann das ja nicht funktionieren. So, nochmal 3, 5, 5, 1. So, und das zweite ist entweder 768. Damit müsste man wahrscheinlich mit einer 0 anfangen. So. Okay, das ist es nicht. Dann ist es das minus 768. Das sind dann 2783. Aha. A Karamiklan. Okay, das hatte ich jetzt so nicht erwartet. From within the darkened chamber ahead, you hear the low, thunderous growl of an enormous beast. Its eyes pierce the darkness, carefully watching as you approach. The moment you step into the antechamber, a great serpent pulls himself toward atop glistening mounds of gold coins, sticking his head through the chamber threshold. What have we here? The great beast asks in a voice that shakes the stone walls around you. A visitor? A thief? State your intention, human. I'm in search of a prisoner here in the dungeon. His name is Karamiklan. Would this be you? By the gods, a dragon! On this way I will smite you, O vile serpent of the underworld. The creature extends his head forward a bit more, bringing his snout within an arm's reach of you. As he inhales deeply, the air around you is quickly drawn away, which nearly sweeps you from your feet. He smacks his tongue inside his mouth to taste the air, and then, seemingly satisfied with the results, he finally responds, "Yes, I am called Karamiklan, the Silver, last remaining dragon of the West Winds. I know why you have come to see me, but tell me, with your own words. I so rarely get to talk with outsiders. An acquaintance of yours named Erubor has sent me. We seek your guidance." Erudor, I haven't heard that name in half its century. How is that old codger these days? He's still playing around with those ridiculous crystals, I see. Well, yes, we need to know what insights you have with the crux crystals and the Oracle. Eschalon faces a horrible cataclysm soon if we do nothing to prevent it. Karamiklan grunts. Yes, I know what is happening out here among the world of men and dwarves. I can see it all from here. We are coming to the end of this age, and this game of stones you've been playing demands that its final conditions be met. So, human, ask of me what you want. My role in this to share my knowledge before I am gone, so all my knowledge is yours to have. What can you tell me of this approaching cataclysm? The cataclysm that approaches is a natural event. Great pressure builds inside of Eschalon, which must be vented from time to time. Normally this occurs with little fanfare, perhaps as a distant volcano which smolders for a day or two. However, what is about to happen is far bigger than anything before it. An ancient rift to the east has cracked the bedrock clear to Eschalon's core. The unfathomable pressure of the core is driving magma up through the bedrock, and a great volcanic cone now swells high above the rim of the chasm. The explosion is imminent, and the magma boiling within is rich with toxic candicium. Yes, you know, the element of which I speak, the crux crystals themselves are made of this material. Ich muss mal gerade was nachschauen, wegen der Aufnahme. Nicht, dass das ja irgendwie... Genau, wunderbar. And this toxic candicium will somehow pollute the world. That is correct. When the eruption occurs, the ejection of molten rock will rip the firmament apart and will rain fire, ash and stone upon every inch of Eschalon. All life will end under the dark cloud of smoldering sky and the radiant glow of candicium dust. Also eine atomare Verseuchung. What do you know about the creatures we call the Oracle? The Oracle, those mysterious little beings of myth and lore. Their origin is far less mystical than you might imagine. Know this. In our timeline, the cataclysm will occur. When it does, a life will perish, except of a few creatures who dwell deep underground. Yes, even a few isolated groups of dwarfs will live through the cataclysm while they mine deep in the darkness of the mountains. Those few dwarfs will likely not even be aware that such a horrible cataclysm has occurred at the surface. Are you telling me that the Oracle are dwarfs? No, not any more than butterfly can still be called a caterpillar. After this event passes, contaminated water trickles down from the surface to the underworld and slowly affects these dwarfs. Unable to return to the surface, they will mutate as the centuries pass them by. Their eyes will grow large from the darkness and their bodies become frail. During these years, They will toil away on their machines and become even greater masters of engineering. Generation after generation they will craft new technology and learn to utilize the energy of Candicium in ways unknown to us. When they finally emerge from the underworld a millennium later, they will be ghostly small beings who no longer remember the dwarfish heritage. They will truly be out of place in this strange new world. Why is Malkuth so intent on preventing the other Oracle from averting this cataclysm? In the distant future, when the Oracle emerge from the underground, they discover that Eschalon is new and unknown world. The Oracle are people with no future and no past, stuck in a world they cannot survive in. What remains of their historical texts spoke of the cataclysm with originally trapped the ancestors underground with no future ahead of them. They decided to travel into the past to stop this cataclysmic event from occurring, hoping to undo the curse that they believe nature wrought onto them. Gathering 4 powerful Candicium stones that they mined during their centuries underground. They devised a machine to travel to back. Na, muss auch ein Fehler sein. However, they overshot their arrival date by more than 200 years, and their craft suffered critical damage which needed to be fixed to complete their mission. And this is when they divided the Crux stones apart to keep them safe while they worked to fix their craft. Precisely, they knew it was far too dangerous to keep these stones in a close proximity to each other where they might easily be misused, and so the 4 Crux stones were each hid in different corners of the world. Even then, whispers of dissension rattled the Oracle, and the long process of fixing their craft lay ahead of them. And so it was during this time Malkuth had a change of mind. He discovered that the Oracle's plan was flawed, and it was foolish for them to attempt to alter the existing timeline. He insisted that they return to their era and live their lives out as fate intended. He even presented evidence to the other Oracle that what they were doing would cause far more harm than the cataclysm itself. But he was rejected as a traitor to their mission. They cast him out. But if Malkuth succeeds in returning to the future, we will all die. We will all die anyway, such is the curse of life. The cataclysm will only hasten what the passing years will inevitably succeed in. But Malkuth knows that Eschalon must be allowed to vent this pressure, or the sphere will crack apart, utterly ending his world forever. More so, he fears that by creating a timeline loop, the other Oracle have likely begun a paradox cascade that would shatter the entire plane of existence in which Eschalon resides. Then why didn't he just let me destroy the 2 Crux stones that I had back in Talushon Tower that would have prevented the other Oracle from proceeding with their plans? I have 2 Crux stones, perhaps I should pull them out now and smash them together? Malkuth needs all 4 Crux stones to generate enough energy for him to return to his future. His intention is to arrive precisely at the original Oracle party leaves, crashing his machine into theirs and fusing the broken timelines back together. He will valiantly sacrifice his life to ensure that the paradox does not collapse all of reality as we know it. I have 2 crowns, perhaps I should put... I would reduce you to cinders before you could pull them from your bag. It is not your place, little human, to make a decision that could affect the entire known plane of existence. Corran didn't have this authority either, and Arrowboy is just another pawn in this game. The fate of these Crux stones is not yours to decide. This decision will fall to the Oracle who brought them here. How is it that you became Alunda's prisoner? The dragon chuckles. The sound is deep and low, making the golden coins around him rattle. I am no more Alunda's prisoner than the sun in the sky is. I remain here because of our symbiotic partnership. You see, Alunda simply wants the bragging rights of saying he has a dragon chained up in his dungeon, and I have happily obliged his desire of his. And how does he benefit you? Look at me, I sleep atop an untold fortune of gold coins. The gold makes for such comfortable accommodations, and the mere threat of a dragon protecting Alunda's wealth means I never have to worry about someone trying to steal it. For that matter, Alunda himself ever tries to take the gold away from me, I would simply vaporize him. All of this really became my gold the day he brought me here. Did I mention the foods? I get a fresh sheep brought to me twice a week. I don't have to go out and hunt for my dinner, where every would-be hero in Eschalon would try to slay me for a fleeting moment of fame and glory. Yes, believe me, little human, this little arrangement between Alunda and myself has worked out exceptionally well for the both of us. Perhaps you are right, but you are also grown too large to leave. You've noticed, have you? Yes, you are correct about that. I've lived a very long life, and I am the last of my kind. This grand dungeon will eventually become my tomb, and thereafter a shrine to the last and greatest dragon that has ever lived. I have no other questions of my own. Arumbo sent me here to seek your advice. My advice of all my expansive knowledge, what inside of mine would like me... What inside of mine would like me to share with you? Da fehlt auch ein U drin. Perhaps most importantly, we must locate the fourth crystal. I have located 2 and no Malkor's third stone. Where's the fourth crystal? Karamiklan huffs his blade, scattering gold coins as if they were nothing more than grains of sand. The fourth crux stone, the missing link, the puzzle piece that everyone seems to be killing each other for. The beast reaches down into the pile of gold just below his chin, dragging his claws back and forth through the shimmering coins. After a few seemingly random passes, he pinches his claws together and pulls from the coins a gleaming blue gemstone. This is what you seek. It is called ubiquity, but you may refer to it as the crux of wisdom. I have had it all along. You have it? Erebor will be relieved to know the final crux stone has been safe with you the entire time. The Stone of Ubiquity has passed from one warlord to another since it was first gifted to the clans of Berea. When Alunda plundered it years ago, I convinced him that it should be held under my supervision, to which he obliged. I have kept it close to me all this time, buried under gold, to keep it out of sight and prevent it from poisoning me. I believe Alunda has likely forgot that he even possesses this gemstone, and he certainly never knew the significance of it. I will summon for Erebor to come here. He would be pleased to see you, and the two of you can discuss what we shall do with the crux stones. Would he be pleased to see me? I am sure Erebor had hoped to enlist the help of a dragon in this endeavor to secure the crux stones from Malkor, but to what end? To simply hand the crux over to the oracles so they can continue with a foolish plan? I think not. Karamiklan's gaze has not left you since you stepped into his antechamber, and you find it difficult to be aware of anything else while this great beast is focused upon you. However, you notice that the reflection on his eyes has given away a figure, approaching from behind. Before you can turn to see who it is, Karamiklan speaks again. I hope you don't mind. I anticipated your arrival and invited an old friend to join us. Malkor, my dear friend, today we can finally end this ridiculous war of the crux stones. Here is the crux of wisdom. It has been an honor to keep it safe for you. Der ist ja böse. Eine Taste auf der Tastatur drücken. Thank you, great Karamiklan. History will remember you as a hero. Malkor turns to speak with you. But you are more than a hero. You will be remembered as a champion, a savior. I only hope that you do not resent me for what I've put you through. You are surprised? You do not recall our past because you erased your memory to keep Erebor and Korran from knowing the truth. This has all been our plan all along, and despite some setbacks, we still made it here. You are lying to me like you lied to countless others. My duty has always been to keep you from getting these crystals. No, our plan was always been for you to help me secure the stones. You simply don't remember everything we have done from the start has been designed to encourage Erebor to push you towards locating these crux stones. Die Musik ist zu laut, deshalb muss ich schreien. If this is true, why did you attempt to kill me in Talushon Tower? I'm sorry to have frightened you, my friend. It was Mariel Ruse of Erebor who was watching, and I did not intend to send the Cruxfire with you to Walderon. Still, Erebor led you directly to the final missing crux stone, just as we anticipated. Erebor teleports into the antechamber. Karamiklan, you deceitful serpent, you've had the fourth crux stone this entire time, and now you wish to aid the enemy. Erebor turns to you. Shield your ears from these lies. Keep those Crickstone close to you. Malko will not attack you for fear. He will accidentally destroy them. I am not your enemy, though I cannot convince you of this now. I will need to destroy you to claim these 2 stones that you possess. You anticipated this outcome and have already forgiven me if I must. Erebor begins to cast a teleportation spell on you. Listen to me, we cannot fight Malko here because Karamiklan is too dangerous. Our forces have gathered at Makros Point. I am sending you there now. This final act must be played out upon the battlefield. Just as you feel yourself being swept away by Erebor's spell, you hear Malko say, "It is not too late, my friend. We must save Eschalon from the reckless plan of the other Orakur." Erebor's teleportation spell whisks you from the dungeon. You feel the familiar sensation of rapidly moving to a new location. You are not quite within the physical realm yet, not quite outside of it. Certainly, clarity strikes you and you sense that you can control the effects of the teleport. Perhaps it is the Cruxstones that you carry, giving you the power to command your own destiny. You are aware that can make a choice. You are aware that can make a choice. For the first time, your destiny is something you can truly forge for yourself. A decision now rests heavy upon your shoulders as you near the battlefront. Do you choose to side with Erebor and fight to stop the approaching cataclysm? Or do you side with Malko and fight to repair the timeline and let the cataclysm occur? Erebor. When you arrive, Erebor's first line is already on the move. A regiment of dwarves from the Northern Alliance is beginning to march south to the river. Malko's forces will be targeting you, but you must survive or all will be lost. So, speichern. 5-5. Dann lade ich nochmal ganz kurz. Und zwar hier. Vorentscheidung. So. Kampfzwerge. Oha. Das ist ganz cool hier. Selber. Nein, habe ich auch keine Erfahrung für bekommen. Aber gut, so wird jetzt sowieso was sein. Da ist der Zwerg geplatzt. Okay, da muss ich etwas anders rangehen. Die dürfen da oben kämpfen und ich mach die Fernkämpfer tot. Wenn ich da mal treffen würde. Gibt's doch nicht. gut aus. Na. Load. Dann muss ich wohl ja einfach zurückbleiben und hier und da mal draufschlagen. Der wird wohl jetzt drauf gehen da unten. Ist tot. Stiften. Dann werde ich hier mal gucken, dass ich helfe. Das sieht aber jetzt auch nicht gut aus. Da will ich jetzt wieder sterben. Dann Plan C. Ich spiele Kugelfang. Okay, das geht jetzt hier nicht. Super. Dann werde ich jetzt nach hinten durchlaufen. Jetzt schießen nicht alle auf mich. Zack. Na, triff. Stopp! Na, nehmen wir den halt. Reinforcements on both sides are arriving. Erebus calls on the Rangers of Elder Orc to aid his cause. Malko has brought in a herd of Tauraks. Zack. Ja, das heißt, hier sollte ich den Weg blockieren, damit die abgeschossen werden. So. Den Weg blockieren. Das hat jetzt nicht so super funktioniert. Der tötet mich jetzt, weil ich den treffe. Hier. Jetzt greifen sie mich alle an, die kommen nichts und werden von den Elfen abgeschossen. Sehr gut. Aber ich könnte trotzdem so ein bisschen Hitpoints brauchen und Stuff. You are currently engaged in a battle for the future of Eschalon. You cannot camp right now. Another wave from both sides. Erebus brought the legends of the Dark Steel mercenaries. Marco summons a skeletal army from Basilisk, crafted for him. Okay. Greif mich ruhig an. Ja, ich regge jetzt einfach dadurch, indem ich einfach alles pariere. Wie viel halten die denn aus? Ich kann natürlich auch reggen, indem ich die abschlachte und an Erfahrung gewinne. Was? Ich könnte ja auch zwischendurch einmal schlagen und dann diese Abwehr-Dings benutzen. Die sich ja auch alle. Na gut, die Schützen, die greifen dadurch an. Lololo. Ja, sauber. Tempered Steel Death Dealer. Toxic Aura. Haben die vielleicht auch Heiltränke oder so? Another company of dwarves from the north. Marcus summons a murder of Phoenix backed by a herd of Torok's Spearmasters. Ja, macht ihr da oben mal. Ich muss hier mal Kram einsammeln. LX. Nö. Nö. Okay, die werden einfach nur abgemetzelt hier. Oh, der hat's getroffen. Tja. Jetzt habe ich halt so viele Truppen hier. Da kann jetzt auch kommen, was will. Brings, with both sides depleted of forces, each brings in their final combatant. Arrowboy summoned a dimensional eye from the either plane, and Malko brings forth a dimensional eye from the realm of flame. Okay. Ich gehe dann mal. Malko's dimension has been slain. Erebos' forces are victorious. Hooray! Through the haze of smoke, dust, and spent magic, you see a thin form appear. It is Malko himself. His gaze meets yours, and you hear his voice in your head. We are victims of our own success. Old friend, our plan worked too well. At least we can both take comfort in this fact. Our plan was the superior one. I only hope that you would have remembered before it came to this. Any key. Malko holds out a leather satchel holding 2 crux-stones. These are worthless without the 2 you possess. He sets the bag upon the ground. I will retreat to the distant lands beyond the great western seas and await the results of Oracle's plan. I am convinced that their attempt to alter the course of nature will end in a catastrophe greater than the effects of the volcano itself, though I have not the resources to nor the motivation to fight for the fate of this world any longer. With that, Malko turns and walks away, disappearing into the lingering haze. Erebor stands next to you. You are unsure of when he arrived and are startled when he speaks. You have done so very well, dear friend. Malko is a dangerous, diabolical creature. But he is powerless now. We will not pursue him. I am impressed that you did not fall for his lies, like so many others did. Turning to face you, Erebor finally says, "It is time, hand me the crux stones that you carry." With little hesitation you place the stones into his hands. You are not bound to the crystals. On the contrary, to be rid of them gives you a sense of relief that you have not felt in many years. Erebor looks to the sky. "The Oracle will be arriving soon. They will want to thank you," he says cheerfully. But you don't share in his cheer. You feel confused and lost. Who are you? You can't shake the feeling that you were merely a pawn in an elaborate game between two masterminds. Maybe none of it was true. Perhaps this whole thing was nothing more than a challenge between two aging wizards, hell-bent on proving who was more powerful manipulator. Rather than staying, you turn and walk away. You sense that Erebor is watching you, but he says nothing as you leave. What does the future hold? For the first time in your life, you don't care. Let the end of the world come, if that is what the fate chooses. This night you will not sleep, but rather gaze up at the stars and appreciate the beauty of it all. The future is as uncertain as it ever was, and you feel obligated to make the most of it. Tomorrow you will sell all your gear. Perhaps you will buy a boat. You've always wondered what lies beyond the great Western Sea. Und damit war es das wohl. Lasse ich die Credits hier mal gerade durchlaufen. Viel sollte das nicht sein. Und danach werde ich mal laden und das von der anderen Seite machen. And you, yes you, we made this RPG for gamers like you. Thank you for your support, for supporting us. Eschalon Book 3 is dedicated to Diane, a Dragon Lady Hutton. Und das waren dann auch schon die Credits. Dann drücke ich mal Any Key. Jetzt wird mir hier wahrscheinlich noch meine Score angezeigt. Genau. Congratulations, Kordanor the Artisan, Level 20 Grandmaster. You have completed the main quest line of Eschalon Book 3. Here's your final score. Ja, Challenge is completed. 2 Stück, 10%. Ja, Final Score 11.595. You can also capture this screen pressing P. Jetzt habe ich es gecaptured. Kills made using magic, portcullis, best lock pick, a good steel lock, thief surprise. Ja. Okay. Escape. Load. Und jetzt kommt Vorentscheidung. By the gods, dragon, on this day I will smite you, vile serpent of the underworld. Is that so? He sneers. The great serpent draws in a large volume of air. Und ich bin tot. Ja, hätten wir das auch gesehen? Das war jetzt nicht das alternative Ende. Oder nur ein alternatives Ende? Bla 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 bla. Any key, any key, any key, any key, any key, any key, any key. So, Malkur. When you arrive, Malkur's first line is already in place. A division of goblin hackers and archers are moving north to secure the river. Erebor has charged you with treason and notified his troops. All of his forces will be targeting you, but you must survive. Zup. Dann machen wir hier das gleiche auch. Ich laufe hier nach vorne. Guck mal, dass ich hier ein paar sammle. Die wollen mich nicht angreifen. Jetzt vielleicht. Ja. Und die werden jetzt einfach von unten abgeschossen, würde ich hoffen. Zack. Also mir kann ja quasi nichts passieren. Die können mich einfach nicht treffen. So. Ja, da unten bräuchten sie eigentlich Hilfe. Aber der ist jetzt tot. Und dann machen wir den platt. Und dann werden die mir meine Gegner wegschießen. Zack. Na gut, wenn die jetzt nach oben laufen, sind die leider sofort tot. Weil es Fernkämpfer sind, die im Nahkampf nichts können. Allerdings können die mir halt nichts. Ich kann nur die Leertaste drücken. Okay, kommen die nächsten Truppen. Ich glaube, da hat mich zwischendurch einer getroffen. Okay. Der könnte jetzt fies werden. Ja, das habe ich mir fast gedacht. Also so rum geht das nicht so einfach, weil die Einheiten von denen einfach wesentlich schwächer sind. Das war das falsche Safe Game. Load. Ja, ich mach das jetzt einfach noch so lange, bis das zu Ende ist, auch wenn der Teil jetzt 1-2 Stunden lang ist. Dann habe ich zumindest alles in einem Teil drin. Ja. Bla 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 bla. Malkur. So, vielleicht kann ich die auch retten, indem ich da wirklich an vorderster Front reinlaufe. So. Scheiße, das war falsch. Ja, die machen jetzt Schaden hier. Bin mir nicht so sicher, ob es das wert ist. Wir leben jetzt 2 mehr als eben, aber das Problem ist halt, dass die sich quasi sofort in den Suizid stürzen. Den kann ich trinken. Den auch. Die muss ich auf jeden Fall so abwehren. Das ist das Stärkste, was ich hier machen kann. Ah, Mist, die greifen unten an. Ah, sehr schön. Die werden niemals rechtzeitig fertig, bevor die nächsten ankommen. Die Schützen alleine sind halt schon extrem stark. Deshalb war das auch bei denen so einfach, weil die quasi mit den Schützen... Ja, der zerknüppelt mich ja einfach. Das werde ich so wieder nicht überleben, wenn ich hier... Divinity! Blasts und Greater Protection. Oh, und ich bin auch wieder voll geheilt worden. Okay. Da ist übrigens ein Teil kaputt gegangen. Ah, die Beine. Das nächste Teil. Ja. Das nutzt halt nicht so super viel. Aber Flask of Charmed Cloud kann ich eventuell benutzen, damit die sich gegenseitig umbringen. Immerhin habe ich jetzt hier die Oberhand gewonnen. Aber noch 4 Hitpoints, ist nicht so viel. Ja, Jungs, lauft nach oben. Die Skelette sind halt auch wieder im Vergleich sehr schwach. Ja, aber dafür sind das Bogenschützen. Die können ihren Angriff viel besser konzentrieren als Nahkämpfer. Leider. Ja, die Viecher sind noch nicht schlecht. Schön. So, und da ist das Auge. Der kriegt aber auch ganz gut Schaden. Has been slain. Marcos' forces are victorious. Hooray! So, dann schauen wir uns mal das andere Ende an. Though the haze of smoke, dust and spent magic, you see Erebor appear. His eyes pan across the waste of the battlefield before he speaks. Why? He asks. After all we've been through, why did you abandon the cause in the final hour? Mir war danach. Erebor lowers his head. I will retreat to the distant lands beyond the great western sea and await the coming cataclysm. I remain convinced that Malco's selfish and reckless plan to stop the other Oracle will result in the death of us all. In all of us. But I have not the resources nor the motivation to fight for future of this world any longer. Naja, das klingt jetzt exakt nach dem, was der andere gesagt hat. With that, Erebor turns and walks away, disappearing into the lingering haze. Malco stands next to you. You are unsure when he arrived and are startled when he speaks. You've done so very well, old friend. Do not feel bad for Erebor. He fought hard for what he believed in. It is unfortunate that we could not convince him that our efforts were virtuous. Turning to face you, Malko finally says, "It is time, hand me the crook stones that you carry." With a little hesitation, you place the stones into his slender grey hands. You are not bound to the crystals. On the contrary, to be rid of him gives you a sense of relief that you have not felt in many years. Malko looks to the sky. "I will summon my craft. There is no reason to further delay my quest." You can sense that he is satisfied. But you don't share his satisfaction. You feel confused and lost. Who are you indeed? How in the final moment did you turn against everything you spent years fighting for? You can't shake the feeling that you wronged Erebor despite believing that you did the right thing. Somehow you must overcome any feeling of doubt and be at peace with your decision. Rather than staying to see Malko off, you walk away. You sense that Malko is watching you, but he says nothing as you leave. What does the future hold? For the first time in your life, you don't care. The end of the world come if that is what fate chooses. This night you will not sleep, but rather gather up beloved souls. Hat man schon. Ja, also die Enden sind dann doch etwas enttäuschend, würde ich einfach mal behaupten. Also die ganze Story finde ich doch ziemlich ein Quark. Also das, was hier an Story-Schnipsel reinkommt, ich meine, das waren ja nur diese Quests von diesem Erebor und dann ganz am Schluss das. Aber auch das mit dem Erebor, was er zwischendurch gesagt hat, von wegen, ich habe dir eine Schriftrolle gegeben. Wenn du diese gelesen hast, sind die Wörter in deinem Hirn eingeprägt und ich kann dich damit tracken. Naja, geht so. Ja, ich verabschiede mich dann auch. Ich lasse das Ding hier noch durchlaufen und dann sage ich bis zum nächsten Mal. Ciao.